put us in a box. Go ahead. That just gives us something to break out of. Because the next generation 2025 GMC Terrain Elevation is raising the standard of what comes standard. As far as expectations go, why meet them when you can shatter them? What we choose to challenge, we challenge completely. We are professional grade. Visit GMC.com to learn more.
This is the way it feels to move through summer in Lululemon. Iconic Align softness without the front seam. For our smoothest look and feel ever, summer won't know what hit it. Stretch your limits in the non-stop flexibility of the new Lululemon Align No-Line Pant in select stores and at Lululemon.com.
This is Optimal Living Daily, the balance between Splurger and Miser, by April Dykman with GetRichSlowly.org, and I'm Justin Malik. Welcome back to our usual Sunday bonus episode where I share an episode from one of the other podcasts in the OLD network, usually overlapping with the kinds of themes that come up here. Today's episode comes from Optimal Finance Daily. You can follow or subscribe to that show wherever you're hearing this if you enjoy what you're about to hear. So with that, let's get right to the post and commentary from Diana as we optimize your life.
The Balance Between Splurger and Miser, by April Dykman with GetRichSlowly.org. Before I changed my habits, I spent money without much thought. In college, if I had a 2-hour break between classes, I'd drive to the mall. Once I started working full-time, my coworker and I would bring our lunches to work just so that we'd have the entire hour to shop. If I was bored, I'd wander into the cosmetics superstore Sephora for entertainment. Even at home, I'd shop, buying online and tracking my packages until they arrived. I thought I needed a new dress for every event I attended, new clothes from REI for every backpacking trip, and practically a whole new wardrobe if I was going out of town. I thought these new things were a way to reinvent myself or to portray the right image, but all they did was fill up my closets and bathrooms with a ton of stuff that I'm still sorting through today. These habits never put me deeply into debt, but they weren't helping me to get out either. I was often surprised at my total at the checkout counter, but I'd throw down the credit card anyway, too self-conscious to put anything back. I'd make a lame promise to myself to cut back, but I never did. A stop to the splurging. The temporary high of buying stuff was making me miserable when the credit card bill arrived every month. When I finally had enough of paying down the debt just to drive the balance back up again, I went in the other direction. I quit buying clothes and cosmetics and made my lunch every single day. It was a strange adjustment to have a packed lunch and a full hour in the middle of the day without a shopping trip to fill the time. I cut my magazine subscriptions, reduced the minutes on my cell phone plan, carpooled to save gas money, and took clothing to the resale shop. I avoided every expense I possibly could, and the debt was paid off pretty quickly. The downside was that I found it hard to spend money on anything, even after my husband and I were debt-free and had a healthy emergency fund. A stop to the miserliness. I remember when it became clear that I needed to assess my relationship with money yet again, because it was the day that the glass carafe from our French coffee press hit the floor. My stomach turned and I immediately wondered how much it was going to cost to replace it. I went online and found that a replacement carafe would cost $12. I breathed a sigh of relief, but I also realized that my reaction wasn't indicative of a healthy relationship with money. My compulsion to buy had turned into a compulsion to save. Why was I buying all that stuff? Why was I now so worried about saving every cent, especially since we were out of debt and saving money every month? I filled my need to buy with a need to save, and neither was working for me. The middle ground. In an attempt to find a balance between debt and spending guilt, I began to think about the reasons why it would be a good thing to spend extra money. I came up with the following situations. Number 1, gaining knowledge. This year, I paid more than I ever thought I would for a business course. Halfway into it, I know it was a good decision that will more than pay for the cost of the course. Paying to learn something useful doesn't necessarily have to have a monetary return to investment, though. I'd like to hire a swim coach to improve my skills, which won't make money but does provide a great physical workout. I don't feel badly about spending money when I will learn something of value. Number 2, experiencing something new. This one can overlap with gaining knowledge, but I felt it was still worth mentioning separately. Experiencing something new can mean travel or taking lessons in something that interests you. Number 3, paying for quality. The quality of the food I eat is a high priority to me, so I'm okay with spending extra in that area. Another example is the aforementioned clothing habit. I've come to adopt the quality over quantity stance when it comes to clothes. If I actually need something, I'll buy it, but I want it to last, and I'll pay more for that. And an upcoming wedding is no longer considered a need for a new dress. And number 4, supporting important causes. One example of a cause that I support is buying locally, so I'm okay with spending extra if it's supporting a local business. You can lobby for many causes just by mindfully choosing how and where you spend your money. Determining when I'm okay with spending has helped me to find a balance between mindlessly consuming and mindlessly saving. When are you okay with spending more money? Why do you value those things? You just listened to the post titled The Balance Between Splurger and Miser by April Dykman with GetRichSlowly.org.
Summer nights used to be brutal for me, tossing, turning, flipping the pillow, until I discovered Cozy Earth. Their temperature regulating sheets have completely transformed how I sleep. They naturally wick away heat and moisture, helping me stay several degrees cooler even during the hottest nights. I honestly noticed the difference the very first night. And it's not just the sheets. Their all-day tea and studio pant collection have become my go-to for ultimate comfort and breathability during the day. It feels like I'm living in a temperature-controlled cloud, whether I'm lounging at home or trying to stay cool while working. Plus, Cozy Earth offers a 100-night sleep trial, so you can test them during the peak of summer. If you're not completely in love, you can send them back hassle-free, and all their bedding products come with a 10-year warranty. Upgrade your summer. Go to CozyEarth.com and use code OLD for 40% off best-selling temperature-regulating sheets, apparel, and more. Trust me, you'll feel the difference the very first night. Sleep cooler, lounge lighter, stay cozy. If you've shopped online, chances are you've bought from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout, the one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes it incredibly easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/old. Go to shopify.com/OLD. Shopify.com/old.
This is a pretty relevant article for me because I've also challenged myself to spend more money in meaningful ways. You see, when I quit my full-time job last year, I did so with the knowledge that my typical spending for both fixed and discretionary expenses was something like $3,000 per month. But being the frugal person I am and having a drastic cut to my income, I naturally pared back, and I've only spent $2,000 per month on average. So my burn rate was actually much slower than I planned. And since my Midwestern gentleman moved into my house, he's cut my biggest expense of housing in half. So I feel I have some wiggle room here to spend some more money. One of the things I cut out when I quit my job was regular massages, but I have a hard time regulating my nervous system, And when I treated myself to a massage recently, I realized that this is more than a luxury expense. It's actually really helpful for my mental and emotional well-being. So I committed to one massage per month for $120. On that same note, I decided to also spend some money on therapy. I've had a really hard time finding a good therapist. I've seen 4 different therapists in the last 4 years, and frankly, I've never found it helpful. I've hated spending money on therapy, as it simply hasn't been worth the cost. But I found something called somatic therapy, and it does seem to be more effective for me. So I've added this to my budget for $180 per month. While these expenses on the surface might seem like luxuries, I suspect the benefits to my well-being will far outweigh the costs, and I have plenty of room in my budget to accommodate them. That'll do it for today and another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Have a happy Thursday. Thank you for being here every day and listening, and I'll see you on the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.